Welcome, Dhanvanti. We have known each other for 50 years, but when did you first come to the ashram?
I've been coming here from my age of 1. The first time my father came here in 1935, I was 1 year old. At that time, children were not even allowed in the ashram. So we saw mother only in the balcony. But my father came here every year. We stayed here for 1 month. And after a couple of years, there was some child who wanted to also go for Sri Aurobindo's darshan. Everybody went from the house. Only she was not allowed because she was small. So it was told to mother that, mother, the child wants to see Sri Aurobindo also. And so mother then allowed the children to come. Till then we used to be out. Yeah, my mother would go for meditation, father will go for, we used to stay home. Yeah, but then we were allowed.
So how old were you when you first saw Sri Aurobindo?
I remember very well from 1943. That is the year when we started staying here because the school started. I must have seen him before, but from that year I remember very well. I think there wasn't a moment greater for me than standing in front of Sri Aurobindo and looking into his eyes. It was nothing but what in our language we will say Karuna Dhara. Karuna means compassion, Dhara means flow. It was nothing but a flow of compassion. And you know, when we went to him, all our being, not only mind and heart, the body itself was different. From 3-4 days, I used to sort of start preparing myself for the darshan. 3-4 days in advance. And slowly, slowly, as if the whole body was preparing to be just standing in front of a vibhuti. I don't think I can have anything more marvelous than that. Darshan. Maybe we would see him again, I don't know. But so far, there is no equal.
And tell us about Mother, when you were young.
I want to tell you first how we saw Mother by the side of Sri Aurobindo.
Yes.
For me. And we saw her alone. When we saw her here in the ashram, she was the queen, the conductor, the everything, behind everything. Huh? She was the one. But when she was by the side of Sri Aurobindo, she sort of just effaced herself, telling us, you look at him, you look at him. This is how I felt. This is totally personal. But I always felt that this figure that we saw everywhere, just dominating, conducting really an orchestra of the ashram. When she was by the side of Sri Aurobindo, she said, you look at him, you look at him. And although we looked at her also, but I think we saw them together. And the photograph that I love most to have in my room would be to see them together on the sofa. It's just marvelous. Just marvelous.
Temi once told me that when she went the first time with her father, she saw his eyes and everything blanked out, she said. She remembered nothing at all. She didn't remember how she got through the room.
Yeah. No, not only all the, we used to go sit and we used to go slowly forward towards the room and inside the room. Right from there, although we didn't see him, we already were seeing him. Yeah. And when we were in front, it's like sometimes I used to feel him like the Himalaya, from the head. And he kept his hand like this. I sometimes thought the whole of India, He kept his feet a little like this. So that was the India's. And I very often felt I saw the whole of India in the figure of Sri Aurobindo. It's one side and the sides. The whole of India like this. Yeah, very often I used to feel that. The way he sat, And everything was global with him. His one sentence is like the world. And like that, when you stand in front of him, you are in a sphere. The whole universe was with him. It was one person, but the whole universe, carrying the whole universe with him. And I very often felt also, he has that line, I measure the worlds with my ruby eyes. So he measured the worlds with his ruby eyes. He not only measured, I would say he embraced the worlds with his eyes. And when you stand in front of him, you felt embraced, flooded. And for a long time after that, you just didn't want to do anything. You didn't want to budge, you didn't want to move, you didn't want to talk to anybody. Absolutely. You just couldn't.
You had darshans 3 times a year at first?
Yeah, 4 times.
4 times?
Yeah. We used to come before the school started every year as visitors. And we all came always for the darshan. Right from the station of the Chinnababu Samudram, which was the station where they used to, check up, because this was French territory. Right from there, I used to feel already the atmosphere of the ashram. Right from there. And when you came down on the station here, you were already full. And around the ashram here, I don't know, I wish that was there again. But it was so intense, so strong, so palpitating, that you could not but change. It transformed you. Just the fact of being in this atmosphere, you were different. without any effort. You did not have to make any effort. Just be there. Just be there. And you were different. You know, in my book, I've written, we used to live in a celestial atmosphere. Swargiya Vatavaran, I have called it. And somebody asked me, I said, of course. And I even mentioned there, this Swargiya Vatavaran is not, because I was very small then, is not something that my innocent, ignorant brain has made up. It was really an atmosphere in which we lived, we breathed, we drank, we learned, we talked, everything was ethereal. It's not an imagination. It was there.
And when he left?
It was definitely unique.
And when he left?
Sure, Bindu? It was a shock. But for me personally, I didn't feel he left. It was only I felt that he was there. I never felt he left us. Yes, the body is no more. Yes, we cannot go for darshan anymore, like before. But I am absolutely convinced, Narad, that if I can just switch on, he's there. Just have to switch on. He's there like he was at that time. There is no difference. If we really want to connect. That means it's not easy. That means you do away with everything that was not he. That is a condition that you have to fulfill to be able to just switch on and get in. See that? We have to fulfill the condition. We have to. And there is no doubt, Mother or Sri Aurobindo, here or anywhere, I can guarantee anyone. You can be in Paris, you can be in New York, you can be anywhere. If you can just call, they are there. There is no doubt. Why? Because they are not just in that body. They are like the sun shedding everywhere. Now, if I leave my doors and windows open, it's a flood. If I close my doors, even then, from the slightest through, they are going to come in. That is their sunlight. The super mind is the sunlight. And anywhere, anyone on earth can just get it if he just allows it to enter. Nobody can stop it. Nobody. Nothing on earth can stop you from reaching that. Because it's always there, Puri. Always there.
You began
I have
in
a
the school?
painting,
Yes.
where I have described. Shall I dance a little?
Surely.
See, I wanted to show Mother giving all. And it was I didn't want like this. It's a total giving. So I wanted it to be like a tree, rooted, and the sap going up like this, and then you give. You see that? You see that giving? How total, how integral is the giving? You are rooted, you take the sap, you grow, and you give. That's
Do you remember well your school years?
my school years. That's where I have described it as, for me, I tell you, when I went to our school, it was like I'm all the time open to receive the light from anywhere. Really. And sometimes I told the children I was teaching afterwards, just be ready to open. You know, we have in India a bird we call chatak. It's imaginary. The chatak bird is always has his beak open. One drop coming. I was a bit like that in school. Literally. It's not an exaggeration. I was ready to receive. I didn't want to miss any one moment of light coming in. Yeah, that was my school.
Can you tell us a bit about Mother in the playground? Your remembrances of her classes, of her coming there, her playing tennis, anything like that?
I think I love to see her play tennis. Although I never played tennis and I didn't see her much playing tennis. But there was something nice. I'll tell you a little story about. You know, Mother used to play tennis, and the two persons playing against her, she always used to call them. They were all the best players. They used to sit there. And she would call. Abesim was also there. For some time, she hadn't called Abesim. So he thought, Mother is not calling me these days, so he was doing exercises outside the court. But see, the mother, every day after she returned here, she used to see her. So that day evening, when she came back, she's asking him, where were you today? I wanted to play with you. So nice. She doesn't miss anything. She had her consciousness with all of us all the time. I'll tell you another story to prove you this. Now, this is not finished. So he just said, Mother, these days you had not been playing with me. So I I went out. So mother said, see what was her way of playing tennis. See, my child, when I play tennis, when I send a ball, I'm sending something that that person needs. Someone whom I call more now, he is more in need of that than you. So I didn't call you. See that? This is consciousness. This is what we should have learned from her. This. So, she said, when I call him, I send something. I send something. She was consciousness from top to toe. So whatever she did was consciousness. Now, how much of this have we realized? How much? That each one of us has to decide for himself. I can't decide for you or him or she. I have to see. How much of that have I lived? Now I'll tell you another story. This is personal. My mother was sick. She had cancer. And we knew that the time is limited. And I felt very much that I should be by her side at this time. And I was a teacher in the school. So I told Mother, teaching may be difficult right now for me because I have to be present there with the stroke of bell. And if at that time my mother needs me, I won't leave her. So I wrote to her that I would like to do something other than teaching, because teaching doesn't finish in the school. Afterwards you have so much to do. And I told her that I am what I am, my mother has given all her life to me, and for this much time I should give myself totally to her. I was a little afraid that she may not like my decision. Yeah. But I was sure that I had to be by my mother's side. So she not only permitted me to stay by my mother, you know, so beautiful, Narad. Now and then there will be a little work of painting or something. She will tell, go and give it to Dhanvanti. Go and give it to Dhanvanti. My goodness, Narad, this is why she was mother. We were 1,500 children here. One of them wanted to be with her mother, let her be. She allowed it. But she didn't forget me. I was in her consciousness. And when she sent the work to me in my house, that day I said, oh mother, if I can learn even this much to be like that, mother. This is consciousness. Narad, this is what we have to be, not anything else. This. So when we began today, I said, Mother has said in one of the New Year messages, to know is good, to live is better, to be, that is perfect. Right now, maybe I'm on that point, just be. I'm not eager to paint. I'm not eager to write. I'm not eager to do anything. I may. I'm not saying no. I may. But I want to be. I feel strongly that if I can just be that person that they wanted us to be, I will be shedding in the atmosphere the best that I can give. This is personal. Not everybody needs to do it. This is my personal attitude now towards my life, my being.
Tell me a bit about how you learned painting.
Painting. Well, I started painting with everybody else here. But very soon, I felt that I have something to say in this media. Very clear. That I have something to say in line and color.
How old were you then?
I was 21. I was absolutely sure. And then I began to change my ways. Slowly I wanted to find a new way of expression. I loved human being, human figure, the face and everything. But I didn't want an Arab. I wanted a human being only, a figure that can catch all that man wants. So I wanted to go into not personal depiction, but a whole. Even in figure, I wanted the minimum lines, just a flow, just a stroke that would give you a flight perhaps. Something big, as it put in one line, that which we are. We are something very vast, spherical, but put into this body. Shobinda said, coercing my Godhead, I have come down. To come, just to be born, you have to coerce your Godhead. Just to be born, you have to coerce your Godhead into oneself. You involve, and then you evolve. See that? Now, I wanted that even in the figure, I don't have any external details. No man, no woman, just figures. It took me time, but I did come to it.
Did Mother guide you personally?
Yes, now and then I used to show her. And when I'm coming to that, when I started moving away from the, details and all that, and the first things that I painted, and I took to her, she said, "You understand French, isn't it?" No. Okay. She
But
said,
you can say it in French and then
I'll
translate.
tell in French first, the
Yes.
way she
Yeah.
said it.
Yes.
"Mon enfant, tu as quelque chose ici. Mais quand ça passe par ici," she went like that, "jusque-là, quelque chose se perd. Donc, tu dois être consciente jusqu'au bout de tes doigts. My child, you have something here. But when this passes from here to here, something is getting lost. So, you have to be conscious to the tip of your fingers." That's what I tried to do. After that, that's what I tried to do. Try to be conscious to the tip of my fingers. That's all.
Did you continue teaching after your mother passed away?
Yeah.
And what did you teach?
Huh?
What did you teach?
I was teaching French afterwards.
I wanted to ask you about the playground and mother's classes.
I would be able to talk to you only about the Wednesday classes because she used to take many classes for the children and all. I have not been there. But the Wednesday classes, yes. What struck me most, my father and mother also used to stay there. They didn't understand French. But they also absorbed. So it was not in the words really that she gave. Why? There were not only my father and mother, but so many others who stayed there. What made them stay there when they didn't understand a single word? And they never felt that they were wasting their time or they are not understanding why are they there. So she spoke. Not in the words, but again, in consciousness. She reached them also. And maybe, this is personal what I am telling you, that they who didn't understand the words received better because it was not in word. Because the word in every mind conditions you. And that is what kept them there. That is what kept those people there. Because she could speak without words to them. Real speech perhaps went to them. Because there was no mind. There was nothing to question her. I had nothing to question her because she answered you integrally all the time. I never had questions. I don't know. I don't need to question her. She's all the time talking to us full day. You just have to receive. I feel. That's absolutely personal again.
What do you remember of Nolini?
Oh, I wasn't much in touch with him, really.
Who were you,
But
who were you mostly in touch
now
with?
and then, yeah, when we became permanent, it was he who brought me the letter from mother. And it was nice the way he gave it. It was just because I stayed here for a long time without being permanent. You know, we were not prosperity holders for a long time. And it didn't matter much to me. I was, even whether I had prosperity or not, I was part of the ashram. And that's what she wrote, mother wrote, that I always considered you as ashramites. But that's different. It was the least important thing for me. But the way he brought and he gave it to me, that was, it was so fine. So fine receiving. I think that's the most beautiful thing that I remember of his giving me that letter from mother that we become ashramites. It was not only mother receiving us, when he gave us the letter, he also received us, the way mother received. And at that time, let me tell you, anyone who joined the ashram, we all embraced him like this. Everyone embraced. This is what was the beauty of those days. We all lived together hand in hand. Hand in hand. Mother accepted means everybody accepts. Nobody can say a no to it. There was, this movement was not there. This movement was always there. This movement was not there. Only this. Only this. What a beautiful thing.
Yes.
That was the ashram of those days. And you know, I used to feel this right from Madras, Chennai. We all came as visitors for darshan. So people from Bombay, people from Delhi, people from Calcutta, all came to Madras, and from Madras we all were coming to Pondicherry for darshan. We all knew that we are all going for darshan. And already in the train, we are one. We are one. Always the feeling of oneness. We are one. Already we were Shobindus and Mother's children. We are one. We belong to the same. It was automatic, this movement. Automatic.
Can you speak a bit about Abhay Singh and his work?
I must tell you that I learned a lot of work in the ashram while working in atelier. Lot. Before that, I was in the school for 10 years. I loved my work. I loved teaching. But here, I found very interestingly, Abhay Singh never spoke big, he acted big. He told mother, I don't understand sadhana, this, that, everything. Mother, I like work, you give me work. I want to work for you. So simple. Even to join the ashram, he went and told mother, Mother, I like you very much, will you keep me? How sweet. Just like that. Mother, I don't understand all this yoga, everything. I love work, I want to work for you, give me work. So simple like a child. And in the school when I taught, there was big words, lot of talk. Not that there was no action. But here I felt that work was done in that spirit, without big words. It was really great. That man never got angry with anybody. 40 years I worked with him. He didn't know what was getting angry, not only with his workers, but even with paid workers. He has never scolded anybody. Never. Everybody was a brother. All the boys that worked with him were like his little brothers. Hard go. To work with him was, for me, I think I learned a lot. First of all, there were so many departments, so many kinds of works. If we want to learn, such an opportunity, immense opportunity to work anything. And I learned a lot because of that. I learned so much. And I learned what behavior with people is. His dealings from man to man. It's very rare. He will never point to anybody, you're not doing this or that or anything. Never. He'll just manage. If he sees that something is not being done, he will get the work done because the work has to be done. He'll find ways of getting it done. But he will never point out to anybody, you didn't do this. Never. No complex. He was the head, but there was no complex at all. Absolutely. He never behaved like a head. 13, 14, 19 departments under him, but he never saw it. And he was always free. He managed all and he was always free. I was lucky. I was really lucky.
I would like to ask you if you would consider coming again and coming one more time and talking with us. You could note some things down and we would be very happy to have you again with us.
If there is anything I can give, I'm free to give.
Wonderful.
Life is to give, to share. Life is. Otherwise, what is it?
Yes.
What are we here for? I want to share everything I have. Come. That's what my painting says. I give my all. What I showed you now, underneath I wrote, I give my all. Take what you can, those who can, as much as you can. I wrote that under the sketch that I made. That's what I wrote. I give my all. Take what you can, those who can, as much as you can. And the person who has stretched her arms like this, she's not even looking down, she has her head there. She does not even bother to who is taking how much. Just keep. I'm ready to share.
Wonderful.
If there is anything I can give.
Good. Thank you so much, Dhanvanti. It has been a very special evening. Please do come again.
I have many nice things to give. And I'll readily share it.